Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on this Saturday, February the 11th. It is Ron Wong in the house with me. And, Ron, I've got Ron kind of enthused over the National Bird Dog Championship.
Yeah, no, that's really
you asked some great
cool.
questions to Rick, about the public coming out and seeing it.
And I'm really interested in going out to see. I've never been out there during a championship, and it's on my bucket list, and I may try to do that this year.
My bucket's got a hole in it this year, but I'm going to be out there in spirit. And you folks know that how much I love the National Bird Dog Championship since I first went out there in 1988. Henry Reynolds finally retired. They were going to give me Henry's horse, and I said, no, I'll take the one at Kroger. And I'm not a horse rider. Gary Lester, I'm sorry. Henry always walked real funny when he was out there, but so I'm the old I don't know if you remember, Gary, Gus run the Jeep that I rode in out there for many years.
Yes, sir.
In that Jeep, and I thought they was going to name it after me for a while, but hey, I got Gary Lester on the line from Kentucky, and if anybody knows a little bit about what's going on at Ames, it's Gary Lester, six-time winner out there, including last year, 2022, tutelage under the great Farrell Miller, who was one of the nice guys to me when I first came up in the ranks. I knew nothing about nothing, Ron, till I went out there and discovered just how many wonderful people are involved in this event. And Gary, I know you appreciate that too. The camaraderie, it's not just the competition. You want to win, but at the same time, this is a fine group of folks, isn't it, Gary?
It is good people. I've been doing this for about 35 years, and just, it's a good group of people. And, I get to see some of the people, every year at different places all over the country. We run from, Florida to Oklahoma to the East Coast and up in Illinois and Indiana. But anywhere, it's just good people. Always enjoy seeing our friends and camaraderie and the competition.
The competition. It's getting ready.
We've all got, one thing in common. We want to win the national.
You want to win the national, and you've been fortunate to be in that spotlight 6 times. You're coming back with Lester Shockwave is back this year, male pointer, owned by Tammy and Bonnie Hamilton.
Yeah, Tommy and Bonnie Hamilton.
Yes, and they're.
I worked Shockwave and Storm Surge. They're brothers.
I figured they were brothers. Yeah.
I worked them Thursday morning down in Florida. They pointed a lot of birds. Hopefully they're ready.
And folks will wonder, the way you won it last year, Gary, there was a lot of drama in that, wasn't there? I mean,
it was. It didn't have a very big abundance of birds last year, and just nobody pointing many birds, but if there's an even number of dogs, you've always got a brace bait.
That's right. Yeah.
Number last year, so I was what they call a bye dog. I was the last dog.
You was the last dog. Yes. And
they ran on Sunday, which they never run on Sunday.
Never done. No.
But the weather forecast was terrible for
that Monday.
Monday and Tuesday, and they said, well, we're going to run on Sunday, and that front was coming in, and the birds were moving, and old Shockwave pointed them. We had a big time.
Yeah, and what's his call name? What's Shockwave's call?
Bud.
That's what I thought, Bud. And a lot of folks, Gary, talk about the event itself. You've been doing it, you said, for over 3 decades like this. A 3-hour event. What makes that compared to a 2-hour event? You got another hour. These dogs are athletes, aren't you, Gary?
Well, most of our trials actually are 1 hour. Almost all of them.
All of them, yes, yeah.
Yeah, and you've just got to have a dog with a lot of. He's just got to have a lot of guts, because it'll be muddy and
Yeah.
and briars and bushes, and he'll be tired. But these dogs are bred to. It's just amazing what kind of athletes they are.
Athletes is what I want you to say. That's what
Sure.
these. Yeah, when you're going 3 hours almost nonstop, and you're talking about 12 to 15 miles of running. I mean, of course, we hope they stop quite a few when they find birds and things along that line. But the same time, they're primed to cover the 3 hours. And the thing about it, you don't know what the weather is. You don't know until tonight when they have the drawings what day you'll run. So I think I've asked you this before, but from your opinion, Gary, what kind of day would you like to have? Shockwave or storm surge. What kind of weather conditions are better for you when your dogs compete?
Well, normally kind of a overcast day, with a front coming in. Is good because wildlife always move. They know when there's going to be a weather.
They do that.
They try to feed up well beforehand.
Yeah.
And of course, hopefully you don't have to run in a pouring down rain, or if the ground's froze or whatever. But a lot of that's just in the luck of the draw.
Luck of the draw, which you'll determine tonight. So your last year when you were drawn for that spot, what'd you think? I mean, when they popped.
Well, I had 5 dogs in it last year.
yeah, but you still had the dog. You still had the last one too.
Up through there, but
how many do you have this year?
I had a lot of. I've just got 2 this year, but I had a lot of confidence in all of them last year. And what I always remember, it doesn't matter if you have 1 or 5, and they just name one winner. So
that's right. That's right.
If you got a dog that does the right job, he'll win.
And you've been fortunate, Gary, 6 times.
Yes, sir.
A lot of. So I know you credit Mr. Farrell Miller a lot for that. Tell our listeners out there about your relationships to Mr. Farrell, because he has meant so much to the sport. Talk about that.
Well, Mr. Farrell, he's been my mentor.
Yes.
He's a great dog breeder. He was a great field trialer, a great competitor.
He was that. Yeah.
And he taught me, the ins and outs of the game, and I've just kind of been able to carry on what he did. It's been a good game for me. It's been good for me and my family. I've enjoyed it so much, and through the dogs and the horses, I've met so many fine people. And,
yes, yeah.
And I've met a lot of people that have got youth ministries through that, and I've been able to help them.
Yes, you have, yeah.
And that's been good to me. The Lord's really blessed me, and being able to meet people that I can help.
Yeah, I wanted to mention you're a man of faith, Gary. You don't mind mentioning that, and I don't mind mentioning that.
Yes, sir. God's been good to me.
That plays a lot in what you've done, and you have to have that, I think, in this day and time. And you're coming down.
God gave us all talents, and He wants a return on those talents. And if we can just figure out what talents He give us.
I think you figured it out, Gary. I think you figured it out.
If we can figure out what talents He's given us and how He wants them returned, it sure does make life good.
And particularly who you surround yourself with, because this has not been Gary Lester. You have a very tight-knit group of folks, don't you? That
we do. We've got what we call the company.
That's right.
Derek, Deb Bonner, and Mr. Farrell, and Scott Mason, Chris Peak. Yeah. Of course, my family.
Yeah. They put up with you too.
It's a lot of us.
Yeah. They put up with you too, because
they do.
Tell our listeners where you're from. I mean, because they may be interested.
I live at Gracie, Kentucky. That's about on Interstate 24, about an hour above Nashville, Tennessee. I live right on the southern edge of Kentucky.
So how many stop signs does Gracie, Kentucky have?
Well, downtown there's a couple.
There's a couple, okay. I thought that when you're riding a horse, it doesn't really matter, okay? You just got to be really...
You got to get off the beaten path.
Yeah, you do.
Find a stop sign.
Well, Gary, I want to... I don't believe in luck. And I've told you that many times. I hope to,
yes, sir.
But I would love to see you on the steps one more time, Gary. Okay? And
I'd love to be there. We've worked hard. We feel like our dogs are in good shape. If we get a good draw and the opportunity rises, I think we could win another championship.
There you go. Well, I'll be watching on Facebook Live. I never thought in my life, Gary, back in the 80s when I started watching this, that I would be watching he didn't call them a ping pong, the balls roll around in there, and I would have to sit there.
Bingo balls.
The bingo balls. But I'm going to be watching it tonight, Gary, and I'm not supposed to pull for people, but you know where I feel, okay? All right?
All right, I appreciate it.
All right, buddy. You have a great one. I hope to get to see you out there, and I'll try to bring my buddy Ron Wong and let him experience what it's like at Ames Plantation, because there's nothing.
Bring him out there. I'll put him on a big yellow horse.
Ooh, a big yellow horse.
Right.
I'd have to ride with him, though, Gary. It'd be riding double. All right, man. Appreciate you. Talk to you. See you out there, guy. Be careful.
Yes,
all right.
sir.
Thank you, Gary. All right. Gary Lester, wonderful gentleman. 6 times a winner at Ames Plantation. And,
that's pretty awesome. That's real awesome.
Back-to-back winner. He's done that. And the great Farrell Miller, I think Farrell's in his 90s now. Champion handler and everything like that. So anyway, tonight, 7 o'clock, Bryan Hall, they'll be drawing out the brace times and all the slots and everything. They'll be running at 8 o'clock and 1 o'clock Monday through Saturday next week, and then Monday through Tuesday, the way they've got it set up right now. But that's it. So I love that event. You go to amesplantation.org, and they'll have all the results. They do a great job of keeping up with it, gives you the weather and everything. All right. Let's take a break. Let's close this baby out. Shelby's ready to go home. I'm ready to go home. Ron's getting ready for a ball game. He's got to go cook a bunch of food for some football game tomorrow night.
Well, that's why I got to go home.
Yeah. All right, we'll be right back on Outdoors with Larry Ray.